Hi, everyone. My name is Corinne Zaragoza Estrella. I am the Outreach Coordinator for the UNC Duke Consortium in Latin American and Caribbean Studies.
And hi, my name is Emma Harver. I'm the Director of Outreach for the Duke UNC Consortium for Middle East Studies. And today, Corinne and I have prepared a short video for you and your students to review as part of their participation in the 2020 virtual Learning Through Languages High School Research Symposium.
Congratulations on your team being accepted. We're very excited to be able to host this opportunity for you. And we know 2020 has been an exceptional year in a lot of ways, but we're very excited that you are willing to participate in our kind of newly formatted Learning Through Languages High School Research Symposium. So what is Learning Through Languages? The Learning Through Languages High School Research Symposium is an opportunity for North Carolina world language students to showcase their language and research skills. The objectives of Learning Through Languages Symposium are for students to learn about a topic of significance to a world region, produce informational writing aimed at an academic audience, and to develop digital technology skills to the creation of a visual project. Students will present their research in two formats, the first being a written briefing, and the second being a project visual. This online format is different from years past from our in-person event because there is no oral presentation component to the symposium this year.
So in this next section, we'll be talking more in depth about what students will be doing and the steps that they need to take to successfully complete their projects. So the first step is for students to select their topic. And this is something that they've already started working on as part of the application process. They selected one of the following topics to research. That is social justice, COVID-19's impact, or sustainability and the environment. Within these broader themes, your students are welcome to choose any specific topic that interests them as related to the world region that they were assigned to study. So in their acceptance email, your students were either assigned to study Africa, Asia, Western Europe, Latin America and the Caribbean, the Middle East and North Africa, or Russia and Eastern Europe. So even if the language that your students study doesn't necessarily correspond with the language spoken in the world region that they've been assigned, we think this is a really great opportunity for your students to learn about a different part of the world that they might not already be studying in their language class, and to read about other parts of the world through the language they study to gain a broader global perspective.
Okay, step number 2 is for students to do their research. Okay. Student teams should use at least 3 sources when they're conducting their research. They can use either primary or secondary sources. And we've provided some examples of primary sources on the left and some examples of secondary sources on the right. You can use a mixture however you want to be of any type of source, but at least 2 sources must be in the target language. You're welcome to use more than 2 sources if you want to supplement your understanding of the topic with an article, for example, in English, but 2 of the sources at least must be in the target language.
So the third step is for students to create their research project, and this year that is a briefing. So what is a briefing? A briefing is a short summary or report on a topic. Notice that this is different than in years past when students were creating a long research paper. Now they are summarizing the information that they're researching and learning about their topic. We have created an example in English so all students can read it at this link. So we encourage you to click on that example and view the style of writing. In the briefing, we'll ask that both the paper and the citations of the resources that students use should be conducted in APA style. And we've also included a great link here from the online writing lab at Purdue University that has really great resources for students on how to format citations. And here you'll see that there are different formatting requirements for each language. So please note the language that you study, that your students will be writing their papers in, and find the specific requirements for formatting, as well as the page and/or word limits per language. These vary slightly according to language, but are standard for these different languages. The briefing should contain 3 sections. One is a title page, which does not count towards the page count, and it should include the name of the research project, your students' names, the sponsoring teacher's name, the world language course, and school. That should be in the target language. The second part is the main body of their briefing, and this is where they highlight their research, they create their summative work, and it's the only part of the paper that counts towards the page and word limits from the previous slide. The third part, this is the only part of the project, of the entire project, that can be in English if the students elect to put it in English, but that will be the references section. And this should include the citations conducted in the APA style with the suggestions and the resources we had on the previous slide from the OWL lab at Purdue University. Students should note which sources are primary and which are secondary for the judges. Please note that the briefing should be the student team's own work, and while the sponsoring teacher is welcome to provide direction, help provide them with resources, help them think through their project, the sponsoring teacher should not be editing the student's work. It should be the student's own writing and own words.
Okay, step number 4 is to create your project visual. Okay. The project visual is meant to complement the written aspects of the briefing. It may outline or illustrate key research findings. Strong project visuals will contain both imagery and be written in the target language. It can only be written in the target language, not in English. The visual will be judged on both the use of language as well as creativity and innovation. So we're limiting it this year to only 3 forms due to the online nature of the project. You can either do a slides presentation. So for example, a PowerPoint or a Google Slides presentation. You can create a web page, or you can create a PDF infographic. We chose these projects because they are currently being used at the college level to present information and to demonstrate understanding of information. They're also very highly sought after skills in the real world and for various careers. So we're limiting students to choose one of these 3 projects to create their visual from. For free project visual resources, we have a number listed here that you can choose from to use. These are just recommendations. If there's another resource that you prefer, you're more than welcome to use that, as long as you're able to create one of the 3 visuals using that method.
So when you've completed your briefing and you have created your project visual, you'll be ready to submit your project. The briefing should be submitted as a PDF. The visual should be submitted as whatever is appropriate for that style of visual, either a link to a website or an attached image of an infographic or a PDF or slides. The submissions must be made to learningthroughlanguages@gmail.com from the sponsoring teacher, and they should be submitted by the deadline, which is here in red for you. It is December 2nd, 2020 by 5:00 p.m. This is a firm deadline, and please note that 1 point will be deducted from the team's final score for each day the submission is late. So we encourage you to even submit it a day or at least a few hours early so you don't experience any technical errors with your submission.
Okay, step number 6 is the most exciting part. That is when you will get your rating. Teams will be judged by UNC and Duke faculty, instructional staff, and/or graduate students using the scoring rubric, which awards points on a scale of 0 to 120. This is a little different than the scale that we used in person, which had to be altered because there is no oral component this year. The scoring rubric recognizes language ability as well as overall research methodology and creativity in the project. You can see an example of the rubric so you know exactly what the judges will be looking at when they're judging your project. Student teams will be awarded a rating of 1 to 5 based on the average of the 3 judges' scores. Receiving a 1 is a superior, 2 is excellent, 3 good, 4 fair, and 5 is poor. Results will be announced via a YouTube Live on December 9th, 2020 at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will send you the information to access that YouTube Live in early December, so please keep an eye on your email for that. Teams will receive written feedback from the judges no later than December 11th, so this year you'll be able to really see all of the wonderful feedback that judges are able to give to you about your project. And students will receive a digital PDF certificate confirming their participation and their score by the end of December. Please, we welcome if you have any questions, anything that you want to learn more about, to visit areastudies.unc.edu/LTL for more information. If you have any questions that you would like answered, please feel free to contact us. We're happy to help. And we thank you very much for your participation this year, and we hope to have a wonderful event.